Debbie here from Craftywafty, and can you believe that this is week number 5 for our big Christmas album, or I like to call it the big one. And I just want to say thank you so much for those of you that have been watching and following along. It's been absolutely lovely having you with me, because then I don't feel like I'm all on my Jack Jones, as they say. Anyway, so I thought tonight we're going to do the inside covers, and we're going to assemble all the pages and put the album together. And then really, once I've done that, it's pretty much over to you then for decoration. Now, I will give you a few tips on how I've decorated everything, but what I'd like you to do is just sort of go with your own imagination, and, you know, whatever papers and stuff you've got, then by all means, you know, use whatever you like and decorate your albums up. It doesn't just have to be for Christmas. I know I've called it the Christmas album, the big one, but that's because I'm using the really lovely range of 49 Market, the evergreen season papers, which are just beautiful, and they're very classic, I think is the key word for that. Anyway, so tonight I thought, because it's the last one before Christmas, I'm treating myself to a toffee nut latte in my nice little warm and cozy mug, so that's going to keep me going for this evening. So let's just have a quick recap of what we're going to be doing. Let's just go, we'll go to the back page first, or the back of the album. So this is what I call my envelope stacked pocket. So this is what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to show you how to make this. Fairly straightforward, nothing too difficult to do on that one. And then we're going to come to the front. So let's just slide this over a little bit, which is the just open that up, which is my little pop-up. There we go, which I think is rather sweet. Nice little pop-up there. Okay, and then we're going to put all the pages in to the album, and then I'll talk you through how I've fitted the ribbon on. But if you don't want to use ribbon, you can use magnets and so forth, and I'll just give you a few little pointers as we go along. So that is the plan. So let's just pop that down there. So let's just pop this big album out the way for the moment and have a little look at everything else. Right, let's just pull that over so I can get to that easier. All right, so the album itself, now if we look here, I've got, this is what we've been working on. So it's all blank. Let's just take my little clip off for now so we can see the inside. And this is some of the pages and everything, so we've just got to work out which order we're going to put those in as well. So I'm just going to put that to one side. So we're going to start with the very back one. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that out the way for the moment, just clear some space. I've been busy crafting the last couple of weeks, and I'll be honest, everything is in a bit of a mess. So I am trying to get myself organised out here ready for Christmas, but you know what it's like. You sort of get caught up in doing a variety of different things, and before you know it, it's all done and dusted. Right, okay, inside back cover, here we are. This is what we want. Okay, so our lovely measurements oh, excuse me. Our lovely measurements are 8 3/4 inches by 4.5 inches. Okay, and you're just going to score 1/2 inch on the either side of that, because that's going to make our stacked pocket. Now, those of you that have already been following me along, you'll know how we do our stacked pockets, but I'll go through that with you anyway. And then this one is our 8 3/4 inch by 5.5 inch, and I've scored 1/2 inch all round 3 sides, because that's going to create our pocket, and it's exactly the same way that I've made the pockets for the previous pages. So it's nothing too difficult on that, apart from the fact that on the album, rather than having a straight edge, I've come in and done like a little triangle. So voila, I thought I'd draw it all up ready to show you. So the measurements are is that I've come from the top edge of the pocket, I've come down by 2 inches, and then from the edge of each page I've come in by 4 inches and 3/8. Okay, and then I've drawn from where the score lines are, not where the actual edge of the paper is, but where the score lines, I don't know if you can see that, where the score line is there, I've drawn it so that that's going to come in and along up there, and this is the bit that we're going to cut out. So let's get that bit done first. Where's my lovely sharp knife? So I'm just going to, because I've drawn this in white, I can see it so much clearer on the black. It's always a handy little tip. I'm just going to take that in and take that down to that point there. So that's like so, and then we're going to come in. Now I'm obviously doing this on the inside, so when you fix it to the album, you're not going to see that. And then we're just going to come along here and follow and line those up like so. I'm just going to cut that out, and there we are. And that is our diagonal edges there of our pocket. And then I'm just going to fold these over. I've already put some red liner tape on that because you've seen me do the pocket edges before. Let's just fold that across like so. And then I'm just going to cut my corners. So let me just get a pair of scissors. So again, when I'm doing my corners, I just come across, I miter them, so I come up to where the cross point is of the score. So I come across into that one, and then I just give it a little wonk. There we go. And I just cut that like so. And then I'm going to do exactly the same. These scissors are sticking a bit. I really must clean my scissors, you know, because they get covered in all sorts of glue and everything else, and especially working with red liner tape, they can get that's a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm going to come across on that point and then kink that over a little bit, move that over a little bit. There we go. Actually, I didn't like those scissors either. Oh, they're the ones I need. Right, okay, so now I'm just going to fold that over like so. And then you're going to get probably like little wing bits at the top here, so we don't see those. Oh, she's dropped the scissors on the floor. I'm doing well tonight, aren't I? Going through these scissors like nobody's business. Right, okay. And I'm just going to cut that off, and I'm going to do the same on the other one so we don't see it. Very much how we did the when we trimmed down the pockets for the plait and for the diagonal pockets and that we did on there as well. So right, okay, so that is our base pocket, which is going to sit like so, and then we're going to have the stacked pocket on the other side. Right, so I'm just going to fold these back, and again I've put red liner tape. Now in the original album, what I did was I worked out roughly where this was going to come down. So I think I came down maybe about 1.5 inches from there, and then I had this sitting on the top because I want to make sure that it overlaps so you can't see that bit through there, and then you've got the stacked pocket there, so we can come in just a little bit on there. So that's okay. So I'm going to just measure that. So I'm going to come down about, well, let's come down about 2 inches, I think. So I'm going to draw myself a little pencil line. Where's my pencil? Come on then, where are you? There we go. I'm just, from that top edge, I'm just going to come along there, so it gives me a rough guide of about 2 inches, just so I can work out where the top of my stacked pocket is going to go, and I think that's going to look just fine against there. And then obviously this one is then going to sit on top of that. I might bring that up a little bit now looking at it. It's not until you sort of play with it. Right, let's come up 1.5 inches. So it's up to you how deep you want your pockets. I think we'll do 1.5 rather than 2 inch. There we go. I think that is going to look a lot better. Just put a little line through that. So if I pop that on there, and then that sits on there. Yeah, that's perfect. There we go. All right, so we're going to put our stacked pocket on first. So where did I bury my little pokey tool? There we are. Let's move everything out of the way. I think I'm going to have a little slurp of coffee. Nice little Christmas treat. Delish. Okay, so here we go. Now then, one thing just to mention is that the pocket isn't as wide as the back. So you need to make sure that you've got about 1/4 inch from where the flap comes up there, just so you're centering that on there nicely, so that when those fold over, that back pocket isn't going to get damaged. So I'm going to do the first one. Now, as I've said before in my previous videos, if you're unsure about just gluing this and sticking it down, you can add a little bit of wet glue on there just to help with lining it up. But I'm just going to be a complete rogue as always, and I'm just going to line that up along that edge there. That's it, and we're down. There we go, and that's not bad at all. And then I'm just going to take the other bit of red liner tape off. Okay, and then we're just going to be lining that up along there, making sure that's nice and straight. Okay, and there we have our first stacked pocket done. So that's quite nice. We've got that even edging in on either side. And then we're going to put the other pocket on, our little diagonal pocket. That's going to sit on there. So whenever I do these pockets, I always put the bottom edge on first. So it just helps me line it all up like so. Here we are. Just going to, now I need to be able to line it up with the side bits and come along that bottom. So I think actually let's use a little bit of glue just to help me with the little wiggle bit. Here we are, because I need to line it up with the bottom but also with that stacked pocket as well. Let's put that lid back on. Okay, here we go. Deep breath, everybody. And we're going in, so I'm just lining up, tuck that in, line it up with that edge there, just coming in, and that is sitting just perfect. Okay, that's that first bit, and now I can take off these side bits and flip those over, and then that's that pocket done. And can you believe it? That's done already. So let's just have a little check while I'm taking this red liner tape. Who's on there tonight? Hi, Jackie. Lovely to see you. Good job, she says. Thanking you. Do please put comments up, you know, when you're watching, because it's lovely for me to go away and read afterwards. Okay, so I'm just lining that up on there. All right, and that is basically the envelope pocket, or the envelope stacked pocket as I call it, because I wanted it to look like an envelope, and then you've got that then there, but then you've got that secret little bit where it tucks in, and then also at the back. So it looks like you've stuck an envelope in when in fact it's two separate little pockets. Okay, right, let's move on now to our next bit, which is the front inside cover. And this is the bit that I'm really really excited about, because this is the bit that I get to do the pop-up bit. So the measurements are for the flaps that are going to go on the outside of the bit that goes in, which is the pop-up bit. You've got two pieces here, 7 3/4 inches by 4.5, and then you've got one at 7 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so they're going to be the 2 flaps, and basically on the short edge here I've just scored 1/2 inch down, so that when that bends over backwards, that is then going to create a flap on the top, and then you've got the one that creates a flap at the bottom. Okay, now these 2 we are going to put in first, okay, and then I'll talk you through this bit, which is the pop-up bit. So let's just lie this down on its side, and I need the slightly thinner one for the top. I do believe I had that one for the top. Let me just have a little look. Yes, I did. That's lovely. Just double checking. Okay, so we're going to pop these in first. So this will come in and line in there, and then we've got the other. Now on my album I did corner round the corners, obviously. Okay, so you can, it's up to you, you can do that if you want, but again I'm just going to turn it up. So at the moment this is upside down because it's just easier for me to stick the top flap on. There we go. I'm just going to take that red liner tape off, and we're just going to fold that under, and I'm going to line it up again. Now before I do this, I better just mention, on my original album I've put corner edges. Okay, if you're going to put the corner edge protectors, you need to put them on now, all right, so that you can adjust where the trim's going to go. In fact, let me just see if I can find my corners, and then I can show you what I mean. And as always, they're never just to hand. Let's have a little look. Here we are. But in my craft room, everything is labelled, so I know where, well, I like to think I know where everything is anyway. Okay, so I have a nice selection here of different corners that you can get. Okay, they come in different thicknesses, different metals, different colours, different designs. I've got some little silvery ones now, so you've got lots of different ones. So what I would suggest is that if you were going to put these on, you need to put them on now, and they tuck in. If you haven't used these before, you have a flat edge, which is your patterned edge, and then you have a curved bit, and basically you slide it in on the corners, and then you whack it down with a hammer. Where are we? And then you give these 2 edges here a good tap down either side, and then that holds that in place. And you do that on the bottom corner, and then obviously on the other corners as well. So if you were going to put them on, now's the time to do that, okay? Because when I do have that on, and then I put my flap on, I need to align it to come down to compensate for where that has come in over the edge. All right, so just a little tip. You have to think about these things. As don't do like I did, and I basically went ahead and made the album, and then went, oh, I should have put on some corner protectors, and I completely forgot, and then I had to sort of try and get them in and on there afterwards. So my little tip to you is do it beforehand. Okay, let me just, now I've taken it out of the box, there we go. Right, so where was I? So here we are, the top flap, okay, which is the 7 3/4 inch by 4.5 inch. I've taken off the red liner tape, and I'm just going to align this on this edge like so. There we are. And like I said before, if you're going to do your round your corners, then you need to get that sorted as well. Okay, so that is the first one. Now we're going to turn this up round the other way, and we're going to do exactly the same but with the bottom one. So let me just get the bottom one here. Okay, I'm just going to take this edge off, and again, if I was going to round the corners, I would do that as well. And we're just going to move that over a little bit. And this is, right, let's open that up like that for a minute so you can see that. And then again, I'm just going to, now with this one, I need to try and make sure that where I'm dropping it down, that those flap edges are going to match. So I'm just using that as a bit of a guide. And then I'm going to tuck that in so that sort of lines up as close as I possibly can. There we are. Okay, so that's not bad at all. There we go. And then they're the two flaps. And then the inside bit is going to be the bit that we make the pop-up from. Okay. And the piece of card that we're going to need for that is 12 inches by 7.5. So let me just move this to one side for a minute. We're just going to stand that up out of the way. There we go. All right, so yes, 12 inches by 7.5. Okay, now obviously that is coming in slightly smaller than the flaps. All right, so when we put it in, I need to make sure that I line that up in the middle. And then what I've done is I've come up and I've scored at 7 3/4 inches. So the idea is that when I've scored it there, this is going to fold up and sit in on the bottom of that. You've got the flap on the outside where that lines up with, and then this will sit in just inside there. Okay, and then that's how that is going to do, and then we're going to create the pop-up. All right, and then the plan is that comes up and over, and you've got the flap come down, and then you can put your little buckle or whatever it is you want to have as that closure. Then you can do that. Okay, now because I'm not decorating this album, I'm just making it plain black, and that's why I'm using black card to make the pop-up. But in the original, I've used coloured card. Okay, so you can do that. You can use coloured card. That's absolutely fine. All right, or pattern paper or whatever it is that you want to do your pop-up with. Okay, now on the back here, I've drawn it in pencil because I just wanted to show you my measurements of what I've done here. So I've, on that score line, I've come up 1 inch either side of the score line. Okay, so there's my score line down the middle, and I've come 1 inch from either side. Okay, I've then come in by 1 inch, and then I've come in again by another inch, and then I've come in again by, I think it is, because I've forgotten to write it down, what am I like, 3/4 of an inch, and then that leaves me with 2 inches in the middle, and I've actually put 1.5 inches. My math is really bad today, goodness me. I think it's because we're getting to the end of term where I work, and Christmas coming up, there's all sorts. So that is 2 inches. Now it's up to you. It depends on, I suppose, what you've got to consider is what are you going to stick on your pop-ups. So I might want to reduce that down a bit and maybe have that 1.5 inches as opposed to 2, in which case I would come in at 1 inch there, and then I would come in at, so that is 1 inch there as well, and then that leaves me with the 1.5 inches in the middle there. I'll just draw that across. So depending on the sizes of the pieces of ephemera or whatever you are going to be using to stick on your pop-ups, you can move these measurements around. Okay, so where I scribble here, these are the bits that aren't popping up. Okay, and that's the bit that's not popping up, and that leaves me those bits there. So if I've got something really big, I might want to extend this piece to make it bigger, to hold whatever it is, and vice versa, so you can chop and change it and move it around. Now I've done this all on the inside or the back side of the card, so that when I cut these, you are not going to see those markings. Okay, so the easiest way of doing it is just folding it in half along that score line, getting a decent pair of scissors there, because you've got hundreds of pairs of scissors. And where's your favourite ones gone? There they are, they're hiding. Okay, and I'm literally then just going to cut up these lines. I'm not going to cut across, because then obviously I'll lose that. I'm literally just going to cut up across these lines like so. So here we go, and I think I'll go with the, there we are. I'm just going to cut that in there. I'm going to do both ends first. Like so. And then I'm going to stick to my original measurements and have 1.5 in the middle. So I'm just going to cut like so. There we are. And then what I have done already is I've actually, where those lines are, I've just scored along the tops of these, and I've done it the same on the other side, so that when I open these up, I'm hoping then that I can just push these through, and you'll see the score line, and that will start to bend through. So here we go. So that's scoring on there, and that one I've just scored in on that one. Let's just pop that one up like so, and now you can see you get that pop-up movement. I'm just going to fold that across. Where's my Bernie? Bernie, where are you? Oh, there you are. That's my lovely Bernie. Okay, and I'm just going to crease those along so I get nice firm creases. And there we are. And that is my pop-up piece ready to go in to the album. Now that I've folded that, I'm just going to measure this and see how it sits in there. And actually, I don't know if you can see, but this is just coming slightly proud of the flap underneath. So I'm just going to take a little bit off of that edge. So I'll just take a little bit off of that edge. Let's turn this around. Let's take about 1/8 of an inch off. I'll say no. Where are we? 1/8 of an inch. And then that should sit much better in there. Right, okay, I think I've got that. Where is my... Okay, just take that little bit off. All right, and here we go. I'm just going to push that in. And yes, so now, let me fold that out the way. Now you can see that that fits in so much better, so that when that comes up, you're not going to see that protruding on the other side of the flap. Okay, all right, well, I'm going to glue this in. So because it's a pop-up, what I might do is put a little bit of red liner tape around the top, around the bottom edge, and then just fill it with a little bit of glue. So let's just do that, because I want to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere once it's in the album. Although it's not necessarily holding any weight per se, but I just want to make sure that it sticks firmly. I'm just going to run that along the top. So pop-ups are real. I love pop-ups. They look more complicated than what they are, really. You know, I think you just got to figure out what you're going to put on them to determine the size measurements, which is what I was talking about earlier, so that you can make sure that when you stick your item on it, the idea is that you don't see the pop-up bit behind it. It sort of disguises the pop-up element of it. So right, I'm going to pop that in on just going to do another strip coming along here. There we are. I'm just going to do another strip along there. There we go. And a couple of tiny little bits down here, and then the rest of it will glue through there. And there we are. And then that really is just the covers, the inside of the covers done. And then it's a case of putting in the pages. So it doesn't take that long really once you've got everything prepped and done. I suppose if you worked on this, you could probably get this base album all done in I reckon in a weekend. If you know, got time to sort of do that, you can get it done in a weekend. It's just the decorating. For me, takes forever because I'm so indecisive when it comes to anything like that. Right, okay. So this is going to sit on here. So let me just, and then that will hold that up like so. So I'm going to take off the red line tape, put a little bit of glue in and stick it down on that bit first before I do this bit. So I think I'm going to need some glue. There we are, we're just going to peel these off. And then we can get this stuck down. Can't believe it. How many, not that long now till Christmas. I think we've got on the advent calendar, is it the 11th or 12th today? 12th today, I think it is. So not too long. I think everybody's on countdown mode. Right, just a big old bit of glue. Makes me laugh when it squeaks. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on these bits that are going to stick to the base. Okay, because we'll concentrate on that bit first and then we'll do the next bit. Okay, right, here we go. So there's only one easy way of doing this, and this is sort of just dropping in that bottom bit first, lining it up, tucking that back, pushing that down, and there we are. Great. Okay, and that is that bit done. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move that over. There we are. So that's not bad at all. And obviously, if you're doing this with patterned paper, then you or coloured card, you're going to get the contrast coming up from the black behind it, but you can't really see that on this one. And then I'm just going to turn this over onto its back, and now what I can do now is take this off completely, put some glue on it and just lie the whole thing down. So just makes it, it's always that tricky bit first of just getting that first bit in, but we're all good. I'm just going to take this red line of tape off. Let's move it over a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There we are. I'll just pop this one out. Okay. And again, we're just going to put a little bit of glue in on those bits. It does make me laugh. Squeaks or anything. Honestly, it's the glue and the tape. It's not me, I promise. I just... Oh, there we go. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of glue. There we go. Right, let's tuck that out of the way. Now, what I'm going to do is, I know it sounds a bit half, I'm going to hold that up like that, because I didn't want to do it like, stick it down while it was lying flat, just in case it pulls the tape a bit. So I'm just going to gently tuck that in like so, because when it opens up you want it to be able to fit nice and snugly on there like that. And there we are. and we've got our nice little pop-up. Okay, now for the closure I used a die for my one, which was a buckle, but if you notice this, when this comes over, there isn't quite enough overlap, so you could make yourself a nice little, like a little triangle or a little buckle yourself if you haven't got a buckle die. So we could just get maybe a little strip of card. Let me just show you how to make a quick something just to use as a fastener. So let's have a little look. This is 1 inch. Don't need to go much bigger than that. I'm going to cut 2 strips. So now I did use on my album Velcro dots, but you can use magnets. Now just testing that for size. It's a little bit on the long side, so let's just trim this down a little bit. So that is 1 inch wide by, let's have a little look. How wide is that? It's come down by about 3 inches. See how that looks. So that would work. You could have that like that. And what you could do is stick this together, put a little magnet underneath, put a magnet in there, you could corner around those, and that would just do your, make your fastener. You could make it a little bit smaller if you wanted, not quite as long. It's really up to you. I think, just looking at that, I'm probably going to just take another little bit off of that. So I think I will use a magnet. Let's do this 2.5 inches. There we go. I just like to show you different ways of doing things, because if you haven't got access to things like dies that have got the that I used, the buckle and things like that, that you can still get around it and use different things. So that's what I quite like to show you how to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck a magnet into there, glue that together, then I'm going to fix that on there and put a little magnet underneath it. So where did I put my little magnets? Here we are. Might take me half an hour to get these apart because they're quite strong, but they are good. Oh, magnets. Okay. Right, let's move that out of the way. So a little bit of glue, just so that we can do this. So this is 1.5, no, is it 1 inch by, there we go, 2.5 inches. All right, just to give you a bit of a guide. I'm just going to put that on there. Just going to put the glue all the way around. I will corner around these once they've been glued together. Oops, not stuck to me, Deb. Here we are. Just pop this on. Now I remember last week it was gale force winds and rain last week, and tonight it's quite quiet out there, thank goodness. That weather was absolutely atrocious. Okay, so that is put in. That's my magnet going on there. So if I was going to stick this down, I can work out roughly where we are in the middle. So what was that? That was 7 3/4. So I can use this as a rough guide. So 3 inches that side, 4 inches. Let's come in 3.5 by 3.5, and that is fairly centered. So I can use that as 3.5. Come over just a fraction like that. Okay, right, let's go for it. I'm just going to stick this on now. Now sometimes I do find, actually, if I can't see where I'm putting it, to just put some colour underneath there so I can see where the edge of the paper is. So 7 3/4. There we are. So that just pops that up. See if you can see that. Let me move that over a little bit, see what I'm doing. I'm just lining that up with that. Take that right up the top there. I'm going to stick this down, but this will just give me a bit of a guide. So that's about 3.5 by 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5. I need to come over. There we go, 3.25 on that side, and that's 3.5. So I need to do 3 and 5/8 coming off that edge, and that is about centered. Okay, right, let's go for it. So I'm just going to glue. I know I've got the other little magnet on there, but I'm just going to stick this down like so. 3, and let's take that up just a little bit. Measure that before it's 3, and let's bring that over just a little bit. I'll get that roughly in the centre. Okay, so that is stuck on there. Now obviously if I was putting patterned paper on there, I would put that on first. But as I said, this album I've just doing all in black, but I could actually put pattern paper going across that, so so you don't get to see that. Right, and now I'm going to tuck that in under there for the minute. So that flap's going to come down over there. Put that magnet down on there. A little bit of glue, just so I can see where that's going to go, and hold that in place. Okay, that's where the magnet's going. Stick that down on there like so, and I'm just going to put a little bit of tape over that just to stop that from moving until it dries, and then I can cover this with patterned paper. Okay, so that's going down there, and then that should clasp on there quite nicely. Okay, and there we are, and there we have our closure for the front of our album. Okay, now I suppose the next thing is putting in our pages. This is the exciting bit. Let me just move everything out of the way. Okay, are you holding that down there? Yeah, you're holding that down there. Just need to, that's it. Okay, so what I need to do is work out what pages I want where in the album. Now we've got loads of different pages, and I just need to flick through these and sort out what we're going to use. Oh, I had cut those out already. Now, in my original album, I've got the gusset pocket, the acetate pocket at the front, because you've got that little extra bit of give, so that will still stay at the front. And then I've got my diagonal pocket, or the fold back pocket there, which will tuck in there. So that one I definitely know I want to be at the front. So let's just put that there so you can see I've got that one at the front. Okay. Now, the next one I need to consider is which one am I going to put at the back. So the one I had at the back originally was the chevron, but what I might do is have the chevron to the middle, because this has also got the open flap down bit as well. So I might bring that one. So we're just trying to work out roughly where these are going. Now, there are two that have got to go right smack bang in the middle, and they're the two that are going to have the W, because when you open up the middle of the album, they're the ones that you need to have. So these are the bits that I've got here. So I know that these 2 pages are going to sit on number, or I think the 3rd one. So I know that they're going to go there, and that's got a diagonal on that side. And I do believe I was going to use one of the other diagonals. She says just whisking through trying to find them. That's the flap one. There we are. So this is how you start working out where you're going to put your pages. So that one has got a diagonal on there, and that one's got a stacked diagonal. So when these go in together, and then that one can go on the back like so, and then when I open that up, you've got that, and then we've got the W in the middle. Okay, this one's got the acetate on it. Now I'm thinking that I quite like the folio one, so that could go quite nicely on there. Or we could go with the horizontal, like the little pocket, because you've got pocket and pocket. So it's trying to work out really how you want your album to work. You'd think it'd be easy, wouldn't you? You'd think I could just go ahead and do this and it would be absolutely fine. But it's decision making, and there are people out there that know that my decision making skills aren't always as strong as they should be. So I think I might go with the folio on that one. That's going to have that little curved pocket. That was going to go on there, and then we could have that one on the back one. I quite like that one as maybe the back one with the stacked. So it is just a case of playing around with it and working out. This is why I love the way that I designed this album, because you can do this. You can move them around and go, yeah, that's going to work, or actually no, because that's going to catch everything. Now, like with the chevron, you see, and the flapper, are they going to catch? Probably not. But if I put that one in there, that's a little stacked pocket, so that would work quite well. And that's got a bit of leg room on it, as it were. Then you've got that, so that would work. Then I've got that one coming in on that side. Oh, I think we're cooking with gas, as it were. Right, that one's going to go in the middle because that's the W. Then I've got, what have I got left? I've got the chevron with the doors. Do you want the doors? Actually, the doors could go in there with the plait. And then I've got the horizontal pocket with that, and then that could go there. That will do that, and then you've got the little stacked pocket on the end. Actually, I might have that on there. You see, this is what I mean. You know, I'm trying to make a decision. Right, that goes there. Let's try the stacked pocket, because that's pockets with pockets. So that sort of works well. Right. Okay. I think we're there, people. Already, I think we're there. So the first one that's going to go in is the gusset pocket with the acetate with the fold back page. That's going to be the first one. And then opposite that one, I've got the fold out envelope with the little belly band. Something a little bit different. And on the other side of that is the chevron. Then I'm going with my mini stack and my pocket on that side, and that has the two little envelopes on there. And then on here I've got the flapper pages, and then on the other side I've got the diagonal stacked pocket, and then I've just got the single pocket here, because in the middle there will be the W. Perfect. Then we've got the acetate pocket on the side, and on this one is the doors, and then on the back of that is the plait, which is then opposite the stacked pocket. on the back of that a photo, corners, then we've got the plain horizontal pocket there, but on this side we've got the little twisty, and then we finish off with the folio bit at the back, which has then got the plain on the other side, which will have the curved cut bit, which I can then tuck bits in. But I'm just looking at that last little bit. I think I might go with the, I'm not sure about that one at the back, so let's just have a little look. Oh, I could go with the plaid pocket on the back, because then it sort of gives me that sort of shape in the same as the envelope, so I think that would work better. Then we've got that on there, and then we've got that one in on there. Aha, okay, job done. Right, and now it's just a case of putting them in. Now, as I've said before, I use red liner tape for these. Okay, and I'm going to start at one end and basically work my way through. So I'm just going to tip those over. I'm going to take this stack out, flip it upside down, because that's the order that I'm going to go with, and I'm going to fold it so that that is going to stick in like so. Let me pull that down a bit so you can see that's where it's going to go. So the fold bit, and then that will tuck in there. So let me just run some red liner tape. And I'm going to, now this is another reason why I don't put the red liner tape on until I've worked out the order for the, I'm just trying to find the thicker red liner tape, for the actual hinges and the pages, because sometimes you might have the hinge going the opposite way to where you've put the red liner tape. So we just need to make sure that we've got it going the right way. So we're just going to snip that off. Okay, right. So this is going to go in like this. Now again, if you're unsure about this, let me just show you what I'm doing here. So where you've got the hinge bit coming up here, you've got the folded bit of the hinge on the actual pocket itself. We're going to peel that off and we're going to stick it on that side, and you stick it completely flush to that hinge. That's the way that I've designed it, so that when you open the pages they will open as flat as possible. Okay, plus it gives it extra strength there by holding that. Now if you are unsure about going again straight off with this, then do add some red liner tape and your glue on the top. Okay, so here we go. So I've just taken that off and I'm literally just lining that up. I can see the edges lining up, and then I just tip that up and that's it. And that is the first page in and done. Let's tuck those up there out the way. Okay, and then I'm coming in, and that's quite nice and flush against that hinge on both sides. Now I'm going to come with the next page, which is the chevron. Now the chevron is going out, so this is the pocket that's coming in on this side, so I need to fold this hinge back on itself. So you just work your way through now. Okay, so that is the way that that's going to stick on like that. So this is the side I need to put the red liner tape on, making sure that I've got my page up the right way. Yes, I have. And I'm using my 12mm red liner tape here because I want it to maximise that stickiness as much as possible. Okay, and where's me Bernie? Just give that a little. There we go. I want to make sure that we get this stuck. Okay, now I've put that on. Let's peel this off. And so again, I line it up, those edges against that, and once I'm happy that that is hitting that corner and they're lined up, and I just gently ease it to there, and now I can rub that along, and there we go. And that is the second page done with the chevrons. And that is our first hinge done. Okay, and then we're just going to carry on and do exactly the same with the others. And what I like about these hinges, I know I've seen some people who have made the hinges will mitre the corners and that, but I don't think it holds it enough strength on those corners. So that's why I like to sort of trim that off. Right, here's our next one, which is the envelopes. So we've got the stacked bit coming that way. So again, I'm just going to fold that edge because that's now going to stick like so. And it is just a case then of fixing these down. And like I said, it doesn't take that long to do it. Let's just rub these across the old Bernie. Make sure that that sticks well to that. There we go. And I'm going to peel this one off. And before you know it, we will have an album done. So it's just coming in this way. So again, I'm just using that edge, lining that up like so, making sure, all right, just tuck that. Here we are. And I will go along all of these with Bernie in a moment anyway, just to make sure that they're sticking properly. And then we've got the little flapper page. Let's take my stickers off now. And that's going to come in that side, so I need to fold the hinge bit back on itself. And then all the fun starts, because then you get to do all the decorating, which is really lovely. You can play around to your heart's content then. And we're just going to run that along. Run that along like so. Just going to trim that. Right. Now, with this album, obviously, as I've said before, it doesn't have to be Christmas. You can save it for, you know, make it and decorate it later if you wanted, which is pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm just sort of made the album and then I'll decide what I'm going to decorate it with later. But it's good to have as a backup. You know, and the thing is that there's always, oh my goodness, there are always lovely paper ranges coming out all the time that, you know, I might go, oh, I need that paper. I need it. It's not a, you know, I need it. I need it. And if I need it, then I need to get it. And then I will want to use it. And if I've already got an album made, then that's just perfect. And then I can do that. Right, so this one is now going to go on there. So that's got the diagonal, which is opposite there. So let me just, which way am I folding that? This is the middle. We're on to hinge 3 now, which is the centre. That's it, make sure, which way am I doing this, Deb? I missed one. No, 1, 2, 3. No, I was right. Oh, I had a panic then for a minute. It's because I'm too busy talking about really lovely paper. Like with any paper range, I have my favourites. I can't wait to use, oh, that's the wrong red liner tape. Deb, where did you put the other one? Oh, there it is. I like to use all my favourite paper brands. I think this would make a really nice graphic 45 one actually. I might just have to have a little rummage in the shop and see what we've got. There we go. Right, that's done. Let's peel this off. And then I'll be able to show you, once these have all gone in, how to finish off doing the W right in the centre. Come on, why are you not sticking? There we go. So this one, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come in and... Which way are you doing it, Deb? This way. Good job I checked, wasn't it? Right, line that up. And gently, that's it. Catch it. Okay. Right, I'm now going to turn the album round because we're halfway through, and now I can do the pages coming back to me, if that makes sense. So this one, just going to fold, and that's going to tuck in there, and that's where our W is going to be. So let's just add our red line of tape on there. Like so. Yeah, I do like the graphic 45, but then I also like Echo Park. I love Echo Park. Carlton Bella, I love that as well. And even Simple Stories. I mean, they're just Stamperia as well. Oh my goodness, there's just too many lovely ranges out there to really decide which one I'm going to use first. Now, bearing in mind that's going to stick in there, that's going to go on there. But yes, having this blank album I think will be handy. Right, and we're just going to tuck that up on there, run that along, and then we're just on our very last 2 hinges, and then we are done. So just double checking, because once I've stuck these down, that's it, there's no going back. So this is the back page. Oh, let's take that out. Got to do that for a minute. So I'm going to stick that one on next. There we are. So have you done all your Christmas shopping? I think I am pretty much there. I think I've just got 2 more gifts to get, and then that's me done and dusted. And then there's the job of wrapping, and then you have to wrap them. I don't mind that. If I've got time, I like to do fancy bits with the wrapping, but I mean, everybody's always in such a rush at Christmas that we don't always get the opportunity to wrap them as beautifully as we would like. Right, there we are. And then we're going to come in with this one on here. I'll just fold that back. Well, I can't wait to see what this looks like once we've got all the pages in. There we go. Almost done. So anyway, as I was saying about all the different paper ranges, we do quite a lot of different paper ranges on the shop. So do pop over to our craftywafty.co.uk. You can have a look. There's loads of different patterns. We've got Christmassy ones. We've got ones for weddings. We've got ones like travel. We've got a whole lovely range of different types of themes and that. So it is definitely worth having a little look-see. And if you did take advantage of our sale, our Black Friday sale, then you did really well, because we were doing that at 20% off everything off the store. So that was really, really good. All right. Okay, let's have a little look. Our last final 2 pages to go in. So am I happy with that on that side, and am I happy with that on that side? Yes. Okay, so our last couple of pages, and then we are done. And then there's just a couple of other little bits that I need to talk you through, and then it's over to you. And if you are making the album, or you've made any of the other albums that I've talked you through, like the Great Outdoors one or the Flapper album, for example, then please do post your photos on our site, because it would be fantastic to see how the albums transpire with everybody else. You know, with different decoration methods and so forth. It'll be great to see. Right, I'll just move you out of the way so I can tuck this one in. Just line that up at the bottom. Lift it up. There we go. And it's great. And what's nice as well is that these are all lining up beautifully in the album itself. And then the final page, here we go, which is going to go that way. And red liner tape we do as well in the store. So do grab your, we do, not that you would think it, but we do 50-metre rolls, and this is pretty much the end of one of my 50-metre rolls. I do get through it quite a bit, especially when you're designing and making albums and stuff like that. So let's just peel off this last little bit. Oh, really excited now. Can't wait to see what it looks like once we put the last page in. So I'm just lining that up against that hinge and drop down. Okay, people, are we ready? Let's move these bits out of the way for a minute. It's just please to goodness that I haven't put one in upside down. That's all I'm wishing. Right, okay, so I was just running Bernie along there, so let's just tip that up on there. Okay, they all look like they are working. So we've got the portfolio there, we've got the little, that's really good. That's all stuck down. So this is where we just make sure everything is nice and firm. So right, let's go right back to the beginning then. So our front cover, that will open up. Then we've got our little pop-up. Then we've got the gusset pockets. And then on the back of that, we've got the fold back page. Here we've got the envelope with the little belly band inside. And again, you can put a magnet clasp on that because you've got more overlap on there. I mean, obviously on that front one, if you wanted to extend the flat bit that comes over, then you can do. It's just that I knew I was going to use a buckle for that, so there's nothing to stop you from extending that. That's absolutely fine. Then we've got the chevron waterfall, which looks really lovely. Then we've got our mini stacked, let's make sure that's stuck there, our mini stacked pocket and the big one on the bottom. Then we've got our envelopes. Now, when I made these, I did say you could make these in coloured card, but because I've just done everything black in this album, okay, because like I said, I didn't know what I was going to decorate it with. Then we've got the flapper album, so that all opens up like so, a flapper page rather, okay, whichever way we're going to go with that. Then we've got the diagonal stacked pocket. So 1, 2, 3, and then we've got the single diagonal pocket on this side, and then we're going to come to the W, which I will do in just a minute. Then we've got our acetate pocket, our stacked index pocket. I'll get rid of that sticky now. We've got our photo corners, got our portfolio page. This is the one that would have had the insert cut in the corner, which I showed the other evening. Then we've got a basic horizontal pocket. Then we've got our twisties. So these come up and twist, like so. So you can have photos of different, and twist that around on there. Then we've got the doors, which open up like so. Now what you can do is I've just cut out a couple of little bits here. These are 2 1/4 inch by 1 1/4, and I would just sort of make a little clasp with that and just put little magnets on there. So you could do that. In fact, I'm just going to reattach that, because I will do that at some point when I come to decorating. So you've got the little flaps there. Then we come over here. There we've got the plats and our stacked envelope pocket. And then it's just a case of the decorating the inside, the rest of the covers. So I've put panels of different pattern paper and stuff down there. And that is pretty much our album done. Now, last week I did show you how to make the accordion, the little accordion book, which was really straightforward. And we made a little mini portfolio to slide in on a couple of those pockets. And so I did show you that last week. If you missed it, then you need to go and check out last week, part 4's video for that. But I just wanted to talk to you about the decoration and the closure for the front of the album. So let me just get the original. Let's just grab that. Okay, so on this one, let's just move that to one side. Whoops, all my bits of paper, you see. I really do need to tidy up. So on this one, what I've done is I've used ribbon, and I've taken the ribbon all the way round the back of the album. Okay, so you can see you get a little glimpse of the ribbon there, and then I've put the pattern paper on. And then once I've done that, then that closes up like so. Okay, and then I just tie the ribbon at the front, and that's how I managed to do that one. Now you'll notice the difference, actually, that the amount of gap that you've got from this one here, because that's not been decorated. Okay, you've got quite a bit of a gap there, whereas on this one, when I finish doing it, actually that fills it out quite nicely. And by the time you've put your photo mats and everything in, which is what I've done, then that gives that extra sort of bounce to sort of move that about a bit. So you can just see the difference between the two albums, one decorated and one not decorated, just how much room you've got. Okay, so there's not a huge amount of wiggle room left in this one, but as I said, that's because I've already put in photo mats, or you would just be putting photos straight in. So that just gives you an idea. So when it comes to the closure part, how you want to do this, that's why I went with the ribbon, because I wasn't quite sure at the beginning just how much room I was going to have, but there is still a little bit of room in there that I can sort of move that about a bit. And here you can see on the corners, when I was talking to you about the corner edge savers or edges, whatever you want to call them, you know, that's what I've used on the little flap on the outside, and just on the ones on the inside, corner protectors, that's what I called them, wasn't it? So that's how I did that. And then obviously I've just gone round and decorated it, and I've used from the 49er Market range, the Evergreen season, I've used ephemera bits, chipboard bits. I mean, I've gone through and used quite a bit. I've used little beads, like, or enamel dots, little snowflakes on the index. Now we sell those in the shop as well, so do go along and have a little look. But basically that's everything I've pretty much done and decorated on that. Now with this one, if you didn't want to put the ribbon, okay, then I would suggest that you put maybe three or four magnets underneath. So I would fix the magnets along here, put them on this edge here. Obviously you're going to hold that, and then that will hold that in place. But I think you're going to need at least 3, if not 4 magnets to hold that, like so, if you didn't want to go with the ribbon. And that is your prerogative, your choice. Okay, and then obviously you decorate the outside how you wish. Now the final page that we haven't done anything with is our W. So we're just going to come back to that. And the W page is what I put into the very centre of the album. Because if the album is standing up or you've got it lying flat, then I want to see that W. Oh, cold coffee now, but that's fine. Still tastes good. So we made this last week. So it was 16 inches and we scored it into 4-inch pieces. Okay. And the idea is that we're literally just going to stick these on. Now, you can either stick it right to the edge, like so, or you can sort of come in a little bit and sort of stick it so it lines up with your paper. So if you, now like I've said already through here, I'm just making this album black, okay? But if I was decorating it, what I would do is put my patterned paper on first, okay? With a 1/4 of an inch edging, and this is why I would probably bring my W into line up with that edge, but it's absolutely your choice, okay? And it's easier obviously to decorate it once you put the paper on and all the rest of it, to glue this down. So these will be glued like so, okay? Now, because obviously I haven't decorated this, I'm just going to, if I can find it, is it in my little pot? No, what have you done with it, Deb? I did have some repositionable tape somewhere, and like I said, I've been busy in here and everything's in a bit of a mess, and I really should find what I've done with it. Let me just see, did I drop it down in that one? Is it in that one? I don't know what I've done with it now. Oh my life. Right, okay, so I'm not going to glue these down, but this is what I would do. I would glue these here, and I'm just going to put a couple of my little clips either side so you can see what it will look like, okay? And I'm just going to tuck that on there. There's my other little clips. Have I told you about these clips? Love these clips, they're so cute. Right, okay. I did a class the other day, and all the ladies love my little clips, so they bought them as well. Just saying, they are really handy. Right, okay, so that will then fold up in the middle, and then when you open up the page, and if I just tip this on its side, you can see that's where you sort of get the W. I don't know if you can see that, where you get the W from. Yep, that's why I call it my W page. And I would glue the whole part of this down flat on either side. And then I've got, these would be my photo mats. These are just 3 3¼ by 4¼ so I can stick a 3 by 4 inch card on there, and then I would glue those two down either side like so, and then these ones would come in on the W part itself, and that is how I would finish off that page. Okay, so it would sort of just gently resting these up there, but it would look something like that. Obviously they would be more centered, but that would be that page. And that is pretty much it, really. Short and sweet tonight. Trying to think, is there anything else that I need to tell you that I did? I don't think so, other than giving you suggestions on your decorating. When it comes to doing the diagonals, I basically cut a square, and then the other half of the square is what I then use to layer and decorate the other corners. So that was a little tip on there. The envelopes, I just put in panels of paper by the side of it, but these are made in different coloured cards anyway, so they just popped from the page. The chevron, I decorated, and I just recut the chevron and just trimmed off a little bit on there just so that that would sit nicely on there. And I did put patterned paper in the top of the waterfall as well. What else have I done? This one basically I cut a whole square double. Now this is because I used double-sided paper or card, patterned paper or card. So I cut that, and then the bit that I cut off there is then what I stuck on that side, and then I just cut another square just to slide right in there. I think this one's fairly self-explanatory, the belly band and that on there. Now this one, the frames, on any of the frames, the measurements that I use, I just came in at 1/8 of an inch, and I came in 1/8 of an inch there, and so I had that really nice thin strip, and I just cut the middle out. But if you're not confident about doing that, then just cut yourself some strips to go round. And a little tip, if you let me show you on here. So for example, these are my frames, because some people don't, you know, find it hard to sort of cut out. It can be a little bit daunting. But if I was doing my frame, okay, so this was my card going round the frame, okay, and I was coming the edge, so I'm cutting them in strips. But if I want it to look like that mitered corner, then what I would do is that I would cut off quarter, like 45-degree angle, so that when that sits on there, hang on, how have you done it, Deb? There we go. Right, okay. When it sits on there, then you've got that, so it looks like that mitered corner. And all I've done is just cut that as a diagonal and sitting it over a straight bit. But it gives you the effect of a mitered corner. Really, really easy, cheats way of doing that. Okay, and then obviously that would go on your frame there. So that's what I did. I didn't do, I didn't put paper strips down the edges of my gusset on there, but it's up to you. You can put papers down in the middle between your hinges, but I didn't do that either. But other than that, I think that is pretty much it. I don't think there was anything else that I used. I've told you about how I did those. That one I just slid bits in. For the stacked pocket, index pocket, what I did for this one, I just cut a bit of card and I just slid it right the way down, and then I did the strips coming across, so that, you know, as you're opening these up, you get to see the pattern paper underneath. Now, we did talk about the photo corner when I did that one, that if you had a big photo you wanted to put in there, then you would slide that in with the corners on and then stick it down to the page. Or you can cut a slightly small, slightly larger square out and just sort of tuck that in there if you wanted. This one was fairly okay. I don't think there was anything on there. The horizontal pocket is fairly straightforward. That is just squares. The doors are fairly straightforward. And just on here, again, triangles, and I did cut them as triangles. So I started off with a square, cut it into triangles, and then I just split them across as I went up, and then just sort of put them in with a couple of strips and a panel coming down that middle bit. And other than that, I think that is it, everybody. I think we are done. So I hope you've enjoyed watching what I've been doing. I hope I've given you some ideas and tips and so forth on how to make this really lovely Christmas album. I have been working on a couple of other projects in the background, so I can't wait to show you those. They'll be in the new year. Next week, I won't be doing a live, but just watch out. I will be uploading a couple of little videos of some Christmassy bits that I've been making. Let me just give you a quick little preview. Oh, goodness me. Right, okay. So I've been, let's pop that out the way for the minute. There we go. And let's pop that one out the way. Right, okay. So if you're looking for some ideas for the table for Christmas, like perhaps you haven't made your Christmas crackers or anything like that, we've got the lovely Crafter's Companion Christmas cracker die, which comes with lots of different panels. So here's one that I sort of made couple of weeks ago. I was having a little play with it, so I've just done my own little thing on that with little pattern paper, and I've managed to get some little snaps and hats and things to go inside. So I'll probably put up a little video, or I might even do a quick little live. I'll see how I go with time, but I'll show you how I made one of those using the die. I think we've still got some of these on the shop. Yeah, so you just run through your die machine. You will need an A4 size die machine, just to give you a heads up to make that. But you get different panel patterns, you get tags, and you also get some other little decorative bits and pieces on there. So that's one thing that I might be able to show you. And then the other thing is, I've seen these, I'll be honest, this is not my idea. I've seen these on other social media platforms, shall we say, but I have been making these little wreaths using, as you can see, some rather yummy chocolates. Nice, quick, easy gift ideas. Yeah, especially if you've forgotten somebody, or just to have on the table and look absolutely lovely. So I will pop up the little video on how I made these as well for you. But other than that, I think that is us done. So thank you so much for watching. Do check out craftywafty.co.uk. We've got lots of goodies on there. We've always got new stock coming in. Some beautiful paper ranges. I did spy a nice new one in there from Simple Stories while I was sort of digging around for a few things the other day. But do go over and have a little look. Also, we've got, as I said, some new projects coming up in the new year. So do check those out as well. And all the videos from tonight and the last couple of weeks will be going up onto YouTube, as well as staying on our Facebook page. So if you want to make any of the albums, then please do check that out as well. And I think that is it. Can you believe it? We are all done for this evening. So thank you so much for watching. Okay. And all I have to say now is have a lovely Christmas, and I hope your new year is bright and breezy and a good one for you. And well, we'll see you in the new year. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.